business with a servant's heart. Servant's heart. Welcome to the podcast. Steve, Ramona. Inspiration, motivation takes. Servant's heart. Listen to the pod.
Welcome to Doing Business with a Servant's Heart. I'm your host, Steve Ramona. You know, every episode is an invitation, a reminder that business and life isn't just about profit, it's about purpose. It's about showing up with a servant's heart in every deal, every decision, every day to make a powerful impact on others. My guest today, I met him 4 or 5 weeks ago. My background's in fitness for 22 years. My family had launched a health club, and so I know a lot about it, not as much as he does. He's taught me so much already, but he literally is going to light you up. He's going to motivate you. He's going to challenge you. But more importantly, which I love about David, is he's going to walk away with tools and resources to inspire action, whatever that may be. But it's both in your life and in the lives of others. And we'll talk more about that at the end of the show. Here's your homework today. Yes, this is class. Class is in session. How are you going to serve yourself and others today? My guess is going to help you do that. Let's start today, right after you listen to this show. Doesn't have to be a big impact. Even a small act of kindness or courage can change that game. So let's lean in, take notes, and let's rock and roll. Quick shout out to my sponsors, A Mind for All Seasons. Your brain is your greatest competitive edge, and it deserves to perform like one. Want to think faster, remember more, and stay focused longer? Just text the word optimize to 72000. That's 72000. And get instant access to 6 short, powerful videos, each just 3 to 5 minutes long, that reveal simple strategies to unlock the peak mental performance. I've gone through them in audience, unbelievable. And he's got a great community as well that you can follow. Because guess what? When your brain is clear, your business grows. My other sponsor, Epic Impact, the storytelling system that helps your message connect and convert. It's just 4 steps: engage, persuade, inspire, and close with clarity. I get to use it every day, and all my messages have changed dramatically. You can try it free at epicimpact.ai with the code Steve. Change your message, change your results. Let's dive right in. Let's bring our guest on. David, welcome to Doing Business with a Servant's Heart.
Oh, thank you, Steve, for having me as a guest today.
You're so welcome. Fitness, health, wellness, all that. As we talked when we first met, it is all over the place. You can jump on YouTube, social media, and get 5 different ways to lose weight, to get more energy, to get more muscle. Why are you jumping into this industry?
Because there's a lot of confusion out there, a lot of misinformation. Right now on Amazon alone, there are 50,000 plus books on health, nutrition, fitness, and wellness. So one expert will tell you one thing, another will say just the opposite, and a third will say the first 2 are both wrong. Who or what do you trust and believe and act on? So I help people eliminate the confusion.
Why would people listen to David and not Steve Ramona or Joe Smith or Debbie Morgan, whoever it may be?
So there's several reasons. Number one, I've been where most people are now. I was 50 pounds overweight, told by my doctor I had a 95% chance for a fatal heart attack. I shed the weight. I've kept it off. That's been over 9 years now. And then 3 years ago in June of 2022, I hiked up Mount Kilimanjaro at age 67. So I understand the frustration that people go through. I understand the procrastination that people go through. And I've identified what I call the 9 simple golden rules for living a healthy life.
You're living it. You're just not teaching it, educating. You're living it every day.
Yeah, well, the way I look at it, health is not a product. It's something you build and you create, and it's made by the choices you make each day on your lifestyle, on the food you eat, on the beverages you drink.
Here's why I love David. I lost 45 pounds. I was on diabetes medicine. We've talked about that. I'm off that medicine in 5 or 6 months because there's almost everything that you're talking about. But what I love what you say is this is a marathon, not a sprint with your health and wellness journey. You know, 2 ways. You don't go and watch what you eat for 2 weeks and then go for 2 weeks, eat, McDonald's burgers.
Well, that's called a diet.
Okay, talk about that, because that's exactly where I was going.
Diets are temporary, they're extreme, they're hard to stick with, and a lot of them are potentially dangerous to your health. So I advocate resetting your lifestyle. That means making better choices with eating. And you don't have to do it all at once. Instead of, drinking all soda all day, have a glass of water in between. Or for every soda you have a glass of water or two. Instead of sitting in front of the computer or on the couch, get up, take a walk, walk the dogs, do some house cleaning, some gardening, whatever you're doing to get some physical activity, because we're so sedentary right now. People aren't moving. The other thing is you can do is watch what you're eating. And it's not the food that you're eating, it's what they've done to the food that people aren't aware of. As we talked earlier, when I was growing up, uh, high fructose corn syrup didn't exist. It wasn't introduced into our food until, the late 1970s. Fat-free wasn't around with Olean, which was previously Olestra, until the 1980s. These were all developed by drug companies, and then they realized they can put it in our food. So that's where I advocate is go back to basics. Uh, Eat the real whole holistic foods. Avoid the imitation fake meat that's more dangerous than eating real beef.
Yeah, when you say that about high fructose, I laugh because I guess we're old. I'm 64. I guess we're old people like, what? You never had that? And it's such a great point because we got to adjust with the times. Me and you have to as well because it's in those foods. Even though we're older, we're eating all that same types of foods.
Gatorade
Go
is a
ahead.
perfect example.
Oh,
When it first came out in the late 70s, it had 6 ingredients. Today it has 13, and the only two original ingredients is sugar and water.
wow. That, wow. Okay. I'm really speechless. I say this a lot on my shows. That's amazing. Well, that's a perfect example. Everybody knows Gatorade. So I want to go back real quick. You said you had a 95% heart attack risk, right?
Correct.
How many people out there listening is it 50% of the people listening, 80% that have that same risk?
I don't know because everybody's different. And
Okay.
unfortunately, what doctors are doing is prescribing medication to mask the underlying issues and treat the symptoms instead of looking at how you can resolve it. You're a perfect example with the type 2 diabetes. A lot of people don't realize number one, it's preventable. Number two, it's reversible depending on how long you've had and the severity of it. And number three, there are things you can do that won't cost you a lot of money, so you're not going to break the bank, and that will you can include in your lifestyle that you enjoy that work for you, and therefore you're going to do it. A diet is getting back to that, something where you're feeling like you're sacrificing, it's a burden. Where if you live a healthy lifestyle, you're enjoying it. You don't even think about it, it becomes automatic.
So a question I've been couldn't wait for this show because I have this question I hear all the time for entrepreneurs and people because I've been in the health industry. Steve, well, this weekend I had a whole pizza. I screwed up my diet. I doesn't matter anymore. I tell them you can have that one day off, but don't continue it. Is that correct, or how should they handle that when they go off their eating healthy?
Oh, that's a perfect example, and you're exactly right. Just because you messed up one day doesn't mean you have to give up the rest of the days. Uh, 80% of our thoughts are positive. So when you beat yourself up for having a pizza or ice cream or a candy bar or a piece of cake or whatever it is, instead of beating yourself up, enjoy it. And then the next day, just start over again and build on increasing those habits where eventually you're going to say no, or you're going to have a smaller piece. So I eat apple pie, pecan pie, pumpkin pie. Instead of having a big slice, though, I have a small slice. It's a treat. And that's the difference. So what happens? January 1st comes around, people do their New Year's resolution. They're good for 3 weeks. They're going to the gym, they're exercising, eating healthy. They get on a scale, the scale hasn't moved. And like it's not working. No, it is working. Your body's changing. What's happening is you're replacing the fat with muscle. Muscle and fat weigh exactly the same. 5 pounds is 5 pounds. The difference is muscle takes up a lot less room than the fat. So I always ask people, how's your energy level? How are your clothes fitting? And most times they'll say, well, it's looser and I have more energy. Well, give it time. You didn't put the weight on overnight. It's not going to come off overnight. And usually I ask people, would you like to weigh 24 to 48 pounds lighter by this time next year? Well, most people say yes if they need to shed the weight. Can you lose 2, 3, 4 pounds per month, not per week, per month? Yeah, I can do that. Great. That's what you want to focus on is the small wins. It's those small, consistent things that you do over time that will give you noticeable results. And that's where people fail because they don't see immediate results. They listen to the national ads, lose 20, 30 pounds your first month guaranteed. Yeah, you can lose it. Number one, it's not healthy. And number two, it's not sustainable. So you want to do something that's going to last a lifetime for you, that you enjoy, that you're not feeling burdened by it. I talked to one lady, she lost 75 pounds with another weight loss coach, and she gained it all back. I said, what happened? She goes, I didn't want to eat the broccoli and the Brussels sprouts or kale. I said, well, why were you doing that on the diet? And she goes, well, that's what my coach told me to do. Well, I don't work that way. I find out what you enjoy that is healthy for you so that you focus on that. Because as you know, Steve, what we focus on expands. Then I figure out what you're indulging that you need to either reduce, substitute, or cut back on, and just create those habits. First, it's a routine, then a behavior. And then when you're not thinking about it, you just do it. It's a habit.
Yeah. KPIs for health and wellness is you're so brilliant. That's exactly what it is. You know, a company doesn't go, oh, we made $1 million this year. Next year, we're going to make 100 million. And maybe they will, but that's such a gap. That same with weight loss. You know, you keep moving forward. And let's jump into the book because I love the book and you gave me a copy and I'm reading it and it's so easy to read. And that's a path forward. Talk about that and why you wrote it and what the mission is of it.
I wrote it to communicate in a different way than most health professionals and experts are doing. And rather than tell you what you should be doing or what you need not to be doing and what to avoid, I want to do it in a story form. So our main character is Michael Caldwell, who's in his 50s and financially very successful, got a beautiful wife, lovely daughter, until he has a health crisis. And so he meets several people who are legendaries in the health and wellness industry. Um, he meets Gandhi. And the reason he meets Gandhi is because of the famous sugar story. And if I can share that with the audience,
Sure.
A lady goes up to Gandhi with her child and says, tell my son to give up eating sugar. It's bad for him. And Gandhi says, come back in 2 weeks. The lady comes back in 2 weeks. Gandhi says to the boy, stop eating sugar. It's bad for you. The lady says, why didn't you tell him that 2 weeks earlier? And Gandhi said, well, before I could tell him to stop eating sugar, I had to stop eating it myself.
Wow.
And that's part of the story. Is another of the characters is Jim Fixx. Now, you and I know who he is because of our age, but he was a marathon runner, died at age 52 of a heart attack while jogging. And when they did an autopsy, what they found is he had type 2 diabetes, didn't even know it. And he was into the fitness part, but not into the nutrition part. Another person is Jerome Rodeo. He started Prevention Magazine and a few other health magazines. He was on the Dick Cavett show, live TV, proclaiming he was going to live to 100. He was only 72, and he died of a heart attack on set on live TV. So I bring all these people in as part of into the story. And Michael Caldwell, the main character, is asking these guides or, mentors, why should I listen to you? You died. And they said, learn from our mistakes.
Wow. Wow. I never thought of it that way. I didn't know that Jim Fixx was a diabetic. No. Okay. Now it
So,
makes more sense. Yeah.
yeah. And, I have other people in there, Jack LaLanne, of course, and Paul Bragg of Bragg Apple Cider Vinegar, and Norman Vincent Peale because of Think Positive. 80, like I said, 80% of our thoughts are negative. So imagine if we turned it around, made it 80% positive. And again, I'm not perfect. And I don't expect other people to eat perfectly. And so you can still enjoy life and be healthy at the same time.
Because most people will quit if you got to restrict them. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So let's go on the fitness side, the cardio and weight training. And I've learned a lot through this, but people are like, go, walk for 10 hours and do a lot of cardio. I think weight training is more important than cardio, but you ants teach me, what's the thoughts on that, on cardio and weight training?
Based on my research, it is the resistant training and weights that will help you shed the weight faster, build the muscle, and keep the weight off. Cardio is great, but it's a myth that you have to go jog 2, 3, 4, 5 miles to burn calories to get thin. Again, there's a difference between being thin and being healthy. Some people who are thin aren't always healthy. And so I always advocate live a healthy lifestyle. When you do that, your weight's going to take care of yourself. It's just going to come off naturally and you'll be able to enjoy it. Not everybody wants to go run. Not everybody wants to go swim. Not everybody wants to ride a bicycle. Um, can you do, 10, 15, 20 minutes of walking? Most underrated physical activity you can do. Rebel Wilson lost 77 pounds in the year walking an hour each day. I understand that everybody has an hour to devote to walking. Mindy Kaling lost weight. And what she did is when she had a 10 or 15-minute break, instead of texting friends or being on social media, she would go for a 10 or 15-minute walk. Well, if you do that throughout the day 4 or 5 times, you're getting 40 minutes to an hour in.
Such great stories because everybody's different. Weight training might help me more. You cardio might help you more. But yeah, it's what I love about you. It's this customized plan because I'm sure each one of the clients that you work with, their system is completely different. I mean, your 9 golden rules, which we'll jump in here in a second, are all the same, but everybody goes about it a different way, right?
Exactly. And again, when I say weight training, that's resistance training, but you can
Mm-hmm.
also use the bands for resistance training. And people get great results with that. So if you don't want to invest in weights or don't do weights, don't want to, then you can do the bands for resistance training. And so there's a great, a lot of people I can refer people to. If I don't know something, I'll tell you. And if I am not an expert at something that can help you, I'll refer you to somebody who is that I trust.
Servant heart right there, audience. That's how you run a business right there. Don't have to know everything. Have those mentors, those peers that you will. Oh, I love that. And you're getting me excited to work out. I'm going to work out after this, do my cardio. I'm so fired up right now. And I ate a good lunch because I knew I was talking to you today. See how you motivated me.
Well, good.
I love the 9 golden rules. I told you that when we first met. You shared them with me. Please share them with the audience so they can have access to them.
Sure. The first golden rule is to drink an adequate amount of water. And when I say adequate amount of pure water, it's minimum 64 ounces or one half your total body weight. So if you weigh 200 pounds, you should drink at least 100 ounces of water. If you're exercising and doing physical activity or in a very hot climate like I do in Phoenix, Arizona, sometimes you drink more water or you need to. 75% of the US adult population is chronically dehydrated. There's a direct correlation to 73% now. When I first started, my weight loss journey was 71%. 73% now are overweight, of which 43% are clinically obese. And if you think about it, people are now spending $81 billion a year on weight loss products and supplements. When I first was doing this 9 years ago, it was only 71 billion. The average person will attempt 4 to 5 diets each year and over a lifetime, 126 different diets. What that tells you is diets don't work. So do lifestyle instead. Number two for golden rules, avoid the highly processed, ultra processed, and manufactured foods. What do I mean by that? The Pringles potato chips. Those are manufactured. Anything that has chemicals for the ingredients. Just instead of drinking orange juice, which is one of the worst things you can put in your body because of all the sugar, eat an orange. It takes 4 to 8 medium oranges to make a glass of orange juice. Would you eat 4 to 8 oranges at one time? Most people would know. Well, that's how much sugar you're putting in your body with a glass of orange juice. So you want to eat the real holistic foods. Eat the apple instead of drinking the apple juice. If you're going to have Impossible Burger or Beyond Meat, whatever, Beyond Burger, just don't. You're wasting your money. The chemicals are in there are more detrimental to your body than if you ate the real cow, the real beef. So again, eat the real holistic whole foods. Be careful of fish. People will go to the restaurant and they'll see Atlantic salmon. It's farm raised. It's a name. There is no Atlantic salmon. You want wild caught salmon. So there's a big difference. So again, people think they're eating healthy when they're not. Uh, Number four, Number three is eat the whole, real holistic foods. Two is avoid the processed foods. Number four is to eat slower. We're all in a hurry. So Mark David wrote a book and it's called The Slow Down Diet. And in there he says if you take 5 minutes for breakfast, give yourself 10, and at a minimum for lunch and dinner, give yourself 30 minutes. How often do we have what I call mindless eating, where you're working at your desk, you've gone through a drive-through, you're driving, you're watching TV, next thing you know, you look down, the sandwich or the food is gone, you're driving, the food is gone, where did you ate it? Or you went through a whole bag of chips or cookies or pretzels, whatever it is, without realizing it. So be aware of what you're eating, slow down. And the next one, number five, is to eat small portions. Our portions have been supersized without people realizing it. In the 1900s, the average size dinner plate was 9 inches in diameter. Today, it's 13 inches. Yet,
Really?
really,
That's big.
yeah, 25% more. Yet in Europe, except for the UK, dinner size plate is still 9 inches in diameter. So I advocate and tell people use a salad plate instead of a dinner size plate. And the other thing is at restaurants, it can be anywhere from 13 to 15 inches for a serving size. Again, if you're going to order at a restaurant, if you're with someone, split a meal. If you don't want to split a meal, get a to-go box, cut the meal in half, put it to go right away. Eat what's there because that's a proper portion. And you're saving money because you're getting two meals for the price of one. So you want to eat smaller portions. Again, be mindful of what you're eating. Number six, I call it get adequate sleep. Minimum 7 to 8 hours of sleep. And the reason I say that is research shows that people who are sleep deprived will consume an extra 500 calories the next day. Well, to lose a pound, you need to reduce your caloric intake by 500 calories per day for 7 days. So if you're sleep deprived, you're reaching for the energy drink, the Hershey bar, the Snickers bar, whatever it is, and that stuff is all toxic to your system. So you want to make sure you turn off your electronics before you go to bed, about an hour before. Um, Keep your cell phone out of the bedroom. If you have a TV in the bedroom, get rid of it. Make it as dark as possible, as cool as possible, and sleep. Number seven is rest to digest. Uh, that is doing an intermittent fast for 12 hours. And people will roll their eyes when they hear that, thinking starvation. And I do appreciate because I bought the book, I'm going to be reading it, that you recommended to me. And, again, most people can do an intermittent fast without thinking about it. If you stop eating 3 hours before you go to bed, you get 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep. When you first get up, you drink water. I drink 22 ounces of water when I first get up. Then I have a cup of black coffee. My first meal is 2 or 3 hours later because water is a natural appetite suppressant. So you're not hungry. That's 12 to 13 hours right there. And people, when they're doing it, are like, hey, this is easy. This is great. And if you're not able to do that right away, build up to it. Again, it's not an overnight thing, it's a lifetime of doing this. And then number eight, think positive. As we mentioned, 80% of our thoughts are negative. And number nine is do 30 minutes of physical activity each day. And I refer to it as physical activity. It's not working out, it's not exercise. That all counts, don't get me wrong. But a lot of people think they have to go get a gym membership and go exercise. I don't go to the gym. And by the time someone drives to the gym, I'm done with my 30 minutes of physical activity and exercise at home. And again, whatever you're doing to move counts as a physical activity. Walking the dog, gardening, cleaning the house, just something other than sitting. So those are the nine simple golden rules. I usually ask people, are there any of those you're unable to do? Most people say no. Then I'll ask, are those something you're willing to do? And most people say no, because they don't want to give up their soda or diet soda. They don't want to give up their fast foods. So then we talk about maybe negotiating, compromising a little bit. Uh, And it's not what we can do, it's what we will do. And that's the difference. We all can do this. It's whether we will or not.
That's the big mindset problem. We're coming to the end here. And audience, I'll let you know, I do a 24-hour fast every Monday, and we talked about that. Thanks for getting that book. Another book is Eat Slow, Eat, Stop, Eat by Brad Pillion. Yeah, the first couple times I did it, it was not super easy. But now I did it yesterday. And I had to wait till 6:30, and I got through it. And it's amazing. The food tastes so much better after a fast. And intermittent fasting is easy. I do. So I don't eat past 7, and I don't eat again until noon. I don't wait to. So that's what, 7, 12, that's 17 hours.
Right.
Easy to do because I'm busy in the morning. And I'm just giving you a tip. It's not hard. My wife's like, yeah, you're crazy. No, just stay busy because you don't think about it, and drink water. You know, I don't know if you see me, but I got a big bottle of water. He made me drink water when you said that. You know, it's like, I'm like, oh, he's controlling me. He's my AI guy, David. I love it. We're coming to the end here. What's one tip? Somebody listening, I know everybody wants to be healthier, but what's one simple step they can do to start the ball rolling in the right direction?
Start.
Okay.
I would start with water because that's the easiest. It's pure water. When I talk about pure water, again, Paul Bragg recommends distilled water. His student, Jack LaLanne, recommends spring water, high quality, not the Aquafina or Desante, because those are Coca-Cola and Pepsi-Cola products. And then my mentor, Dr. David Freeman, says reverse osmosis as long as it's a 6-stage filtering system. Again, 3 different experts, 3 different opinions. What I tell people is drink the water, whether it's distilled spring water or reverse osmosis, that you enjoy, that is in your budget, that works for you. So there's not a hard and set rule. I personally gave up the distilled water because it got to be too expensive, and I'm drinking reverse osmosis water.
Yeah, David, I love you because you go to where they're at. A lot of coaching, whether it's fitness, health, and business or mindset, is, oh, you have to do this, Steve. Steve, you have to do this, and we're not going to do it. We don't want to. And you want a servant's heart by saying, let me meet you where you're at. Let's make it happen. That's why you're super successful. Man, I'm so glad you came on and you've blessed us. But I want to get to know David a little bit more. So I'm going to ask you a fun question I have. So I've reserved a table at a restaurant. It's a good one, a healthy one. Well, doesn't matter. Who would you invite, whether dead or alive? And you can bring your wife and family, but those 3 empty chairs to talk to get to know, to maybe somebody you've always wanted to learn from or get mentoring from. But more importantly, especially in this show, what food would you get?
Oh, I would get whatever I wanted, to be honest with you. I tell people you don't have to look at a menu to go to a restaurant. I would just say I'd like the fish, whatever it is, as long as it's not the Atlantic salmon, sea bass, swordfish, wild caught salmon, and a side of whatever, broccoli, asparagus. So I choose what I want to eat, and 100% of the time, the restaurants will accommodate me, even in foreign countries.
Yeah.
So again,
Point.
in the States, I don't eat chicken, but in foreign countries, I do, because their chickens are different than ours. They're not tainted. So, if you want a fillet, get a fillet and get a side. You can order whatever you want. So depending on how I felt that day would be what I would ask them to make for me. And again, high quality restaurants are going to have those. If they're a vegetarian restaurant, lentil soup is great. Salads are great without the dressing. I eat my salads plain.
Wow.
So little things like that. 3 people. Wow. I think the first one I would select would be JC, Jesus Christ.
Amen.
The second one would probably be Da Vinci.
Mm.
And the third one, that's a good one. Probably Moses.
I love it. No health people. And I say that because faith is so important to you, which I love. The other thing I love about you, I'm setting you off already. That's so great. That's why I love asking that question, because I always get surprised who people are going to pick. I think they're going to go this way or they don't. So thank you for sharing and letting us know. Thank you for doing an incredible show. You've
Thank you.
blessed us. I know people listening, David, and want to be part of your. Can we talk about Life 42 a little bit? We'll come into the end and how they can get a hold of you.
Sure. Then go to life42health.com. And we're starting the Life 42 Health Reset community. I'm keeping it super, super inexpensive. It's only $10 a month. It's a $99 a month value. And people say, you're undercharging. Yes, I'm doing that intentionally. Because if you give up one Starbucks or one drive-through meal, it'll pay for the whole month. And we're building a community where people, can be empowered, be held accountable, encouraged, and motivated to adapt a healthier lifestyle that works for them. And so part of it, right now, they get a copy of the Jaded Health book. I believe I sent you the copy.
Mm-hmm. You did.
And then when the Path Forward comes out, they'll get that. They get a daily tracker, which is real simple. It's 7 simple tasks that you do each day for 42 days. You have a little bit of grace in there. There's 5 days you can miss. So if you're not perfect, you don't have to start over again. If you do go more than 5 days, you start over. The people who started over 2 or 3 times don't mind because they're building and getting better each time. And again, the 42 days is just a jump start. And you just want to continue with it for as long as it takes where you feel that you no longer need the help. So far, people who've been in it for 2 or 3 years have felt like they need the help and are still staying with it, even though the average person is losing between 25 and 50 pounds, as I mentioned. They're enjoying life. They're going on cruises. They're going on all-inclusive vacations. They don't feel like they're being deprived or sacrificing. So again, this is not where you're thinking, oh, what kind of lifestyle is he talking about? It's the lifestyle that you want. Whatever you're going to want, I will help you create and make it healthy.
Well, David, I believe in you so much. And part of the audience, I've been getting his for 3 weeks, his newsletter. I told him before the show, Yuka app, YUKA is an app you can scan your food and it tells you if it's good or bad. It just gives you another guide. I call it my David. I tell my wife, David's on my shoulder every time I play that app or scan that app. But I'm going to do something for you, David. I'm going to give a gift back to you. The first 3 people that subscribe to his community for the $10 community, I'm going to send you my favorite success book for free. I'll get it shipped out to you. So when you sign up, mention the podcast or my name. Either way, he'll know. He'll reach out to me and give me your name, and I'll reach out and get your address, and I'll send you a book. So the first 3. So jump on this fast. I know a lot of people are going to take advantage of this because you know what? You get the success book. Now your business successful. You're healthy. You're going to be just like David. As I call myself, I'm a mini David, so it's powerful.
I appreciate that. And the one thing I want to say is,
go ahead.
Health is the foundation for everything. It's our dreams, it's our businesses, it's our relationships, because without your health, you don't have anything. And people say, well, it's a priority. It should not be a priority. It should be the priority.
Big differentiation. Love that differentiation. That's perfect. So audience, here's your homework at the end. Sign up, get the free book, but also to subscribe to the YouTube channel. And I love this show. Think about this. You listen, go, God, David's incredible. And you're talking to somebody at a birthday party and they go, God, I'm just tired all the time. I don't get any sleep. I'm stressed. I'm not healthy enough. My doctor said all that you hear and you go, I just listened to David on this podcast. Can I send it to you? You send that link off to them because when you subscribe, you get all the podcasts and they listen to it. And guess what? Maybe they do the 9 golden rules. Maybe they do one of the 9 golden rules and they just drink water. Did you impact them? Absolutely. That's what I feel podcasts are. When they resonate, they can make a difference for somebody, just like David's doing every day with people. So go ahead and subscribe, all those podcasts you love. And with that being said, me and David want to thank all of you for watching or listening to this podcast, and we'll see you all in the next episode of Doing Business with a Servant's Heart. Have a great day, everyone.